Donald Trump recently made his move on the most powerful economic jobs in the world. He has picked Kevin Warsh as his choice for the next chairman of the US Federal Reserve, a decision that could reshape interest rates, markets, and even America's economic politics for years to come. Now, this isn't just a routine nomination. This is Trump reopening an old grudge, fixing what he believes was a past mistake, and putting his stamp on the central bank in a way that no president in history has managed to do in decades. To understand why this matters, you first need to look at Trump's long and very public fallout with the current Fed chairman Jerome Powell. Ironically, Powell was Trump's own pick back in 2017, but the relationship collapsed really fast. Trump wanted low interest rates to fuel growth, boost markets, and cheapen government borrowing. But Powell focused on inflation and Federal Reserve's independence and refused to bend. Trump lashed out repeatedly, calling Powell slow, clueless, and even accusing the Fed of sabotaging the economy. What was supposed to be an independent central bank became a political punching bag, and by Trump's second term, it was clear that Powell was never going to be his guy. Enter Kevin Warsh, a name that Trump has liked for a long time. Warsh isn't an outsider or a political newbie. He has served as Federal Reserve Governor during 2008 financial crisis, working at the heart of the system when markets were collapsing and banks were on the brink of crisis. The crisis experience also matters the most. It gives him credibility with Wall Street and global investors, something Trump badly needs as markets watch his transition nervously. Warsh has also been on Trump's shortlist for Fed chairman in the 2017 nominations, and Trump has openly said that he regrets not choosing him back then. So what makes Warsh Trump's best choice now? First, Warsh understands how power works in Washington and how markets react to it. He speaks the language of the central bankers but also knows how to engage politically without sounding reckless. Second, while Warsh was once seen as a monetary hawk, he has now evolved. He has openly criticized the Fed's massive balance sheet, questioned its post-pandemic policies, and signaled support for reset that aligns closely with Trump's economic worldview. In short, Warsh offers something Powell never did: ideological alignment without looking unqualified. But this job comes with serious challenges, and Warsh won't get a honeymoon period. The biggest test will be inflation versus political pressure. Trump wants faster growth and lower interest rates. Markets want price stability and credibility. Warsh will have to walk a thin line, cut rates to aggressively meet the deadlines of Trump and risk inflation roaring back, or insist the White House and risk becoming the next Powell in Trump's crosshairs. That balancing act will define his tenure. Then there is the issue of Federal Reserve independence. Critics have already said that they fear that Warsh's closeness to Trump could weaken the wall between politics and monetary policy. If investors believe the Fed is taking orders from the Oval Office, confidence in the dollar, US bonds, and global financial stability would take a hit. Warsh will need to prove quickly that he is not just Trump's Fed chairman, but the world's most powerful central banker acting on data, not directives. And finally, Warsh has to survive Washington itself. Senate confirmation won't be easy to get. Political scrutiny will be intense, and every statement he makes will be dissected for signs of loyalty, either to Trump or to the institution he is supposed to protect. Managing the president may be as important as managing inflation. So, being the Fed chairman at this point may not be everyone's dream, but so was in 2008. Wash seemed to have survived the financial crisis, but will he be able to survive this? Time will tell.